This episode of the Date Podcast is sponsored by Bopsy. Meet up to 6 people over mobile video. It's video speed dating. Download Bopsy in the Google Play Store or iTunes. Check out bopsy.com.
We know you love us, but the information on our podcast is provided for educational and entertainment purposes only. I understand I'm both an LPC and an LMFT. However, this is not intended as a substitute for professional services of any kind. If you or anyone you know needs professional help, please seek mental health services. Hi, this is Emma.
And Zorric.
Host of the Date Podcast.
Yeah.
We're so excited to do another show for you. And we have a few thought-provoking things that we want to talk about, or a thing that we want to talk about today. So Zorric, when you take, your women out to dates, right?
Your women.
Your women.
Sounds so bad.
No, whenever you take a woman on a date,
yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
What is your percentage of a tip that you leave? What is? Yeah, sure.
I think if it's decent, it's like 15%. If it's really good, it's 20. If it's it's 10.
Okay.
I tried it because I've been a waiter before,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and that's hard work.
It is hard
Especially,
work.
I'm very, I'm needy.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, we are going to talk about the taboo subject of money. 'Cause I think this is a topic that we definitely stray away from. And I say, no, we got to talk about it.
We do. And there's people in the background right now. Simulating a restaurant, I guess. Anyways,
Sure.
Yeah. So, but first, we'd like to ask for your help. We're available on iTunes and Google Play. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Hopefully a raving review. Also tell your friends about the podcast. We appreciate the feedback and support. If you have any questions, comments, or show topics you'd like for us to discuss, you can drop us a note at hello@datepodcast.com or on @datepodcast on Instagram and Twitter. So now for the fun stuff.
Okay. So we're going to talk about money later. Is this a new one? Are these new noises?
These are noises we've used before.
Why are you using them now?
Because you're a news topic.
You're distracting me though.
But it's so serious.
Why are you giggling?
It's a serious topic.
What's wrong with you?
Because this is very serious right now.
I feel like you just like to annoy me and just do these things on purpose, throw me off so you can get this reaction from me because you just think it's so funny that I react.
The sound is running out.
Okay. Well, Zorric.
Yes.
You told me to start watching this show on Netflix called Elder Millennial. Gosh, that's a tongue twister.
It is.
Okay. So, this show to me is just hilarious. And I can't say her last name, and I think I'm saying her first name right. Eliza. I can't say her last name. Schlesinger.
Schlesinger? Okay.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's hilarious. I don't know where she came from, but she's all over Netflix.
Yes. She actually was on the last Comic Standing on NBC.
No.
Yeah, and so she won that show actually when she was on it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So she has this show called Elder Millennial. I can't say that. Sorry, y'all. About the struggles of being an elder millennial.
Yeah, she's a
like
stand-up,
you.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, like you, Zorric.
I'm
you're an elder millennial.
1 minute, and I would be Generation X, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad, so sad. And so she talks about a few things. And so what was so funny is that I was watching this Netflix show and I was recording snips and pieces and sending it to my friends oh my gosh, you guys have to watch it right now. This is so funny. And one of them did.
Yeah.
So she really did enjoy it. And but she talks about women issues, right? And so it was just I just loved it so much. And so of course in the show she's this is a feminist joke, and then she'll crack a joke, but she talks about a lot of things that I think are relevant, especially in the dating scene. And how And one of the things that she cracked me up that I love that she spoke about, which is it's a very true thing that like women, like we dress up to go out to find someone, but we won't admit that we're dressing up to go out to meet someone.
Is that true? Is that true? From your perspective?
You know, yes. Like, I will admit to it. Like, she called me out, right?
Yeah.
She called me out personally, but I felt that. I was just like, oh, this is funny. And then, kind of true.
It's me.
And it's true because we say, like, oh, I'm just going out. I'm just dressing up for myself. And in reality, you're thinking, like, if I wear the right outfit, if I have the right makeup, if my hair's the right way, tonight might be the night where I meet the one.
The one.
And it never works out.
Well, maybe it's your choice. You should wear red. Remember we talked about wearing red? Maybe it's the color you're wearing?
Yeah, red washes me out, I feel. So,
But newsflash, we also dress up like that.
Right.
Yeah, men.
So she does talk about peacocking, which I think is funny. And I do think this is a thing that men do. Like, men peacock.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen.
White shoes, jewelry.
Not the white shoes and jewelry, but I've also I'm trying to remember what happened. So I was out one night. And a few of us were out, and I remember like it was a group with like older men and like guys my age, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So like 40s and like late 20s.
Uh-huh.
So it was like a big age difference. No, you weren't a part of this, Zorric. And so I remember one of the guys that was my age started doing something sort of physical with his body. Like, I think we were joking about him working out.
Yeah.
And so he started like showing us his muscles. So then one of the 40-year-old guys like also started like showing us his muscles, and we're like, okay, like this is happening.
That was sexy to you? You weren't like, ooh, look at that.
No, I think we were making fun of the first dude about it. And then when the second dude did it, it was definitely like all right, like this ran its course. This definitely went the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But what if your boyfriend did that, like in public? Would you like that?
God, no. I think that's embarrassing. Actually, I remember we have our friend one of our friends in common. We went out once, and we were in the Gayborhood.
Okay.
We were in the Gayborhood, and we were at, I think, S4, and we were there, trust me. And so your friend is like looking at the other guys like walking around shirtless, right? Like showing off their abs. And so he's like, I look good too. And like started pulling up his shirt, showing his abs. And I was like, no one cares.
I don't know who you're talking about, but
I can tell you off air.
Okay. But yeah, we tend to do that. Maybe he was under the influence of
yeah, he was
Patron
also under the
shots.
influence too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, everyone, this is funny. It's relatable.
What is it called again? And who is the?
It's Elder Millennial.
Okay.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. I can't say her name. Eliza Schlesinger.
Sure. There you go.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Sounds good.
Yes, go watch it, everyone.
I'll watch it again because it was funny. It was really funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we have today?
Taboo. Okay, so this is an article from CNBC.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Big Spender, Bad Tipper.
Your partner's finances may be a relationship forecast.
Yeah, and it's written by Jill Cornfield. So, a lot of times, the first time that we notice, like, anything related to finances is when you go on dates, right? So, like, how much of a tip they're leaving.
But do you notice that?
Yes.
Do you consciously, or are you in the moment and not
like on the first few dates, I'm not looking at it.
Yeah.
But later, when I've been dating this person a little more, that is when I'm looking at it.
True. Yeah, I don't look at it either. I look at whenever a woman says, "Oh, well, let me pay for half of that," and I like that. We've discussed this before.
Like for the tip.
Yeah, or like the bill in general.
Okay.
Right, because it shows that they have their own money, they want to contribute. Or maybe it's
Why do you say it like that?
I don't know.
Is there a little bit of resentment in that statement?
No, but I just like it. It's very nice. It's very nice. Yeah. It makes my heart warm.
Remind me never to like offer to pay when I'm around you anymore.
My gosh. Gotcha. So, what about this article here?
Okay. So a lot of time, so the purpose of this article is just kind of helping people and guide them on how to have the conversation to be a little bit more on the same page financially, because again, like this is a struggle, and people don't like to talk about money. And I think and she mentions a few things. One, like the reluctance about money is that maybe they're rich, right? And so like they're worried about talking about it because they don't want to like feel like someone's using them. Yeah. Right? So, which I totally get.
Or they don't want to brag, right? If you have money, like the most richest people out there, they don't talk about their money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some people do want to brag about it. Yeah. Yeah. The other reason is, they could probably just have grown up with a family that just never talks about money. Yeah. And it's a very taboo subject for them. And so kind of think about, if we're looking at it from a therapeutic perspective, if this is not like how your family taught you to do something, it's very much out of your comfort zone and it's uncomfortable for you to talk about. So like when you're a little bit more established, maybe this is a conversation whenever like you define what the relationship is. Yeah. Or it could be when you're exclusive, or this conversation can happen like if y'all decide to move in, like before you get married, right? Like these are the things that you need to talk about before you make those big life choices.
Yeah, and I don't know about your family, Emma, but my parents never talked about money in front of the kids. It was only until like later in high school and college or probably college, to where they would talk about money. Yeah. So I don't know if that's in your culture or your experience.
That was something that like our parents never spoke about money. And this, I hate saying this, but I'm like, oh well, like we're talking about it. Yeah. But like I also grew up in a household where like if I wanted something, like I got it.
Okay.
So I didn't. Yes.
Nice.
So like my sister and I like didn't have debt growing up because our parents didn't have debt growing up. So like it's like I see like for me, I think I'm one of the only ones in our family where I'm like, money, spend, and they're all like, money, save.
Yeah. So did you talk about money with your current relationships or past relationships or anyone you were dating?
Yes. I did, because so I was dating someone and they were a bad tipper, and
like as in like 0.0%?
No, more like 10%. And I was like, no,
is that
we can't.
bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
For a good service, yes. And he was also like you, he was very needy, and so I was
Excuse me?
You just said you were needy.
Okay, keep going.
I'm just repeating what you're saying.
Was I needy? Okay, go ahead.
You said that.
Maybe I did.
High maintenance, maybe? Whatever.
High maintenance.
Okay.
There it is.
All right.
Yeah, okay, keep going.
Anyway, so like the more that we got into the relationship, the more that I was able to look in the bill, right, and see what the tip was. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's not enough. Like, do you want me to leave the rest of the tip? Like, do you want me to split? Like, and he's like, why? And I'm like, my friend was a waitress. Yeah. And I said, I have a few other friends that are still in the industry, like 20% should be the minimum. Yeah.
I'm learning these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, 20% also depends on but no, 20% is good.
Yeah.
But did you guys talk about like salaries?
Yes. So yeah, we talked about those things, like we talked about savings and investing and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because he wasn't someone that was logical about how to save money. Yeah. I don't know. Like Bitcoin, like he got into like the whole Bitcoin industry, which I know that.
Did he buy a lot?
I don't think he bought a lot.
Because you can buy like $1 worth. Yeah. So there's no limitation on how small or how big.
Yeah, he got like, but there was like other, like I felt like they were more like schemes. And so like I knew that we were not compatible when it came to that, because I was like, that's high risk. You're going to lose your money. Like you're being dumb. Yeah.
And I also think that you can tell by, I guess, what type of work they do. Yeah. And And I never really talked about it with my exes. I was like, I got this. Don't worry about it.
Dang.
And maybe that was not a good thing. Yeah, because most divorces are due to what? Finances and whatever it is, sex or something like that. But yeah, it's very important. And after reading this, I'm like, oh, I should be talking about this.
Yeah, I think this is a conversation that like a lot of us need to have. Like it needs to be had. But it's such a taboo subject that we're afraid to have it. And the other piece that they do mention in this article is that if you're going to have the conversation, it shouldn't feel like an interrogation.
Yeah, because you don't know how somebody is with money. Maybe they're going through hard times. Maybe they're between jobs. And yeah, you can't interrogate somebody. And also I have a friend who the number one thing is how much money he makes.
Oh.
No, but the thing is too, she's a high earner. Like, I don't know, maybe 6 figures or something like that. High earner, right? Uh-huh. So she wants him to make at least equal or more.
For sure.
And so she's always asking me, how much do you think this guy makes? How much do you think he makes? And I'm not sure, right? But you can also tell by, how many degrees he has and all that. But money is very taboo in the sense to where she really liked the guy, but she wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
I was like, just talk about it if you're that into him.
And I like how they have two sort of safe questions to get into that conversation. Like, did you get an allowance when you were a kid? Do you think kids should be paid for chores? Who taught you about budgeting?
Yeah.
I think those are very safe questions to get to the root of what you want out of it.
Yeah, but I think this is when you're exclusive.
For sure.
I don't think this is a third, fourth, fifth
This
date.
is not a first date conversation.
Hell no.
Do not be asking about the finances on the first date.
I need to go because she wants to know how much, because then you're perceived as a gold digger. Whoever's
right,
asking.
yeah, you is kind, you is smart, you a gold digger.
Mm-hmm. So that's...
And again, it's so funny because I know someone that had the conversation with the guy on the first.
Yeah. First date.
Yeah.
So what else do they talk about?
They could possibly be hiding something. So if they're complaining too much about their finances, maybe they're frugal or financially in distress. So my sister, she's a saver, right?
Yeah.
My biggest pet peeve with her is when we go out somewhere and she was like, oh my gosh, this is how much it costs. So when she talks about money, I'm the opposite. When I talk about money, I'm talking about these are the things that I want and these are the things that I want to buy and these are the things that I have. When she talks about money, it's more what is the value cost of the blah blah blah, how much is she actually getting for her money? And so this is an argument that we have where I'm you have to stop talking about money because I don't like that you talk about money negatively.
Yeah. She has a negative perception of money. And
no, she has a positive perception about money, but she wants to make sure that she's getting the value's worth for her money. So if we go somewhere if it's an expensive place, she's why is it so expensive when I could get the same thing at a medium star restaurant or whatever?
Yeah, and maybe it just depends on also, you're talking about food, right?
Right.
Maybe she just doesn't value food. She values things or experiences more, or trips or whatever.
That is true. She does value experiences and things a lot more than I do. I'm more about let's enjoy the food while we're in Paris. Yes, we're in Paris, but I also want to eat confiture with sauce or whatever.
Yeah, you're not always there, so might as well spend it, right?
Exactly.
Go ahead.
So complaints about maybe high interest rates on credit cards or mentions of waiting for a paycheck. I had a coworker that did this. He would always ask for advances.
And?
Because he was always broke.
Oh.
And he was an older person, and I'm oh, that's not good.
I had one of my guys, this was 6 years ago.
One of your guys?
Well, yeah, because I'm a lead, and he asked for me to verify his employment at this place where you can get cash.
Oh.
I was oh, but you're driving a Porsche SUV.
Ooh.
And I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So financial distress. But he has like 5 kids though. So I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then that leads into the next one. Like if you're sporting a sports car that's expensive or an expensive watch or like a Chanel bag, but you're like asking to borrow money, or you're asking for, or if you just happen to know that their salary like doesn't meet those purchases, like there's kind of
like what kind of salary do you need, Emma, to pay for a Chanel bag? They're probably like a couple $1,000s, right?
I don't know. I don't own a Chanel bag.
Yeah, but like I feel like, I get the argument or the justification that it's really good quality.
Right.
But is it? Is it as good as, what are the other bags out there? I don't know.
I am still a fan to Coach.
Yeah, Coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just don't know. But for me, I like nice things too. I like
Right, don't get me wrong. Yeah, for sure. Like if I could have an Apple wired house, I would.
Yeah. But sometimes you just can't.
Right.
Yeah, it's not practical and financially doesn't work out.
So again, like figuring out, like, is it all flash, or is it like kind of the next one where it's like a conscious trade-off where, because this has happened to me before, where like, I'm like, I want that designer bag, and I also know like I am going to have to pay for that designer bag. And if I can move stuff in my budget and like eat sandwiches for a week, like I'm going to do that to get that bag.
Yeah, again, it's value. Like you value the bag, or somebody could value a bag, someone could value, I just purchased a couch. So, and it's still on the way, but yeah, sometimes you have to like, shift things around just to make money work. And, we're all not millionaires.
Right. We're all not perfect with our money either.
Everyone has a budget to follow. And if somebody values a bag, but is saving on food, then I guess so be it. Right.
Right. I guess the thing is like if you're joining finances, or if this is something that like is hurting you, or not hurting you, but like something that you don't agree with, then this is the time to have the conversation with this person, right? Like, and then so like now it's becoming, instead of like, okay, so it is monies, and it's also a little bit of like values too. So like you've said, like what is it that you actually value from this?
Yeah, I would rather, I don't know, we've talked about what we'd rather do. But yeah, if you value nice things, but I think you also, if I'm on a date with a girl that's just, she's wearing the most expensive shoes and the most expensive bag, there's 2 things in my mind. Either she is a CEO, or she's just values that, or she's living over her means, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I get that. It's such a difficult subject to navigate, I feel. Yeah,
and I'm like, oh my gosh, on her birthday, she's gonna want another freaking bag.
God.
And that is like 2 G's. Like, yeah, that's a lot of money.
Then that stresses you out. Then do you want to be in a relationship with the person that wants that? No,
and then she's gonna want more and more and more and better and better and better. So, I don't know, you can't win, right?
No.
Yeah.
Hold on, I lost my train of thought as I said that.
I saw Emma's eye. She was going to say something very, very intriguing, but the train stopped.
It left my brain.
Yeah.
Why did it leave my brain? Why now?
I don't know. Well, so we talked about trade-offs.
Yes.
Right, and also they talk about cars in this article about whether or not they paid cash, which, some people pay cash. I don't. I lease. I don't know.
I buy.
You buy. So that also
I buy because that's what my parents tell me to do.
Yeah, we are conditioned by our parents.
Right.
Again.
Yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
My parents hate that I lease. They're like, you should just buy it or like finance it.
So the first time I got a credit card, I totally remember I was at Best Buy. So Best Buy was my first credit card. And I remember like wanting to buy something and like feeling like I needed to open up the credit card so I could have credit.
Yeah.
And I remember like I brought my mom to Best Buy with me, and I was like, I have the cash, but I also want credit. Do you think it's okay if I open up the credit card and then pay it off right now? And my mom was like, you want a credit card? And like we had like this very like serious discussion about like me getting
because they probably
Best
never
Buy
had
credit
one,
card.
right?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They did. And so they used it for like emergencies.
Gotcha.
It was very rare. And so like, but my mom knew that I like to spend money. And so she always told me that like I was only allowed to pay cash for things because she knew, because I like to spend. Like I like to spend. I have a budget, but if I can spend the money, like I will.
Yeah.
Like it always burned a hole in my pocket, even as a little kid.
Yeah.
So a lot of times like, I had to give it to my mom to keep from me, to not give to me, so that I wouldn't spend it.
Yeah.
So.
Did you get it?
I am a responsible adult. Yes, because I saved money to buy this computer. I think it was a computer.
Yeah.
I saved money to buy this computer, and I got the credit card to get the credit, and I paid off the credit card like when I could.
Yeah. Yeah, which you should.
So,
Yeah.
which is what you're supposed to do, right? But I remember just like feeling so guilty and worried that like I needed my mom's permission. I was like over 18, and I was like, I need a credit card. Do you think I can get one?
Was it the fact that you were a grown up? You wanted to do that. You wanted to experience that.
Well, even now to this day, like anything financially related, like I'll call them and I'll be like, "Hi, I need help with this. What do y'all think I should do?
Yeah.
Will you be mad at me if I do this?"
Of course not. They will love you no matter what you do.
No, my mom tells me that's a bad idea.
Oh. Well, on this topic, I read this book a while back called The Financial Diet. You should probably check it out.
Okay.
But it's called it's a total beginner's guide to getting good with money by Chelsea Fagan, and they also have a website.
Nice.
Total financial debt website. And so you would think it's about like investments and budgeting, which she says to stick by her budget, but she also talks about homemaking, which is new to me.
Huh.
Yeah, because when I moved into this new place that I have,
Right.
I threw everything away. So I did not know what to buy, what type of silverware or pots and pans, and what type of ingredients you have in your spices in your spice rack. So she talks about all of that, and as a man, that was so freaking helpful.
Mm-hmm.
She also talks about like cooking, what dishes you can make that can last all week, and recipes, and also about furniture. You don't have to buy new stuff. It could be used. It could be from Facebook. There's a Facebook marketplace. So it's a really good book. I think everyone should check it out. It's called The Financial Diet. I think it's light on the financial stuff. It's more on the practical, like living.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, don't spend all your money on brunch, because we all like to brunch here in Dallas.
Yeah, we do like to brunch here in Dallas. I just made a brunch day for this weekend.
You're going to be having fun.
Yep.
With mimosas.
Yep.
But I think the biggest point here that she makes is that you're on Instagram and everyone is posting their new stuff.
Yes.
The new car, their new vacation.
Their nails.
Their nails that cost $100, or their new haircut that costs $300, or their vacation that costs $3,000. But
that's a cheap vacation.
Someone has to pay for that. And it's not all cracked up what it's cracked up to be.
Right.
And someone had to budget for that. Mm-hmm. And so that's her point. And it's a really good book. And that's all I got.
Okay.
So what do you have, Emma? Like, what can we take away from all this great information?
I need to start having this conversation a lot more, and I need to start sticking to my budget. So I did a lot of internalizing.
But when should you have this conversation?
I think I need to start having this conversation when, like, I'm not going to have it like we're not dating exclusively.
Yeah.
So, like, once it's exclusive, then, have that conversation.
Okay.
Or, like, dwindling down to, like, 2 people that you're dating up, Like,
yeah, when it's getting close.
Right. That's when you have that conversation. Because then maybe that's a helpful deciding factor on, like, do you want to be in a relationship with this person? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. I think money's huge. And then also, if you want to be exclusive, you might want to settle down with this person. Like, what kind of job does he have? Can he keep a job?
Because, like, TLC said, no scrub.
Yeah, we don't want no scrubs.
No, man or woman.
No. What else, Emma? What else do you have for this?
I mean, honestly, that's all I have for today. Like,
okay.
Stick to a budget. What about you?
I think this is a great article. I think what you should do is you can see their, like you said, about tipping. Like watch and see how they tip, and also figure out where they take you.
Yes.
Right? Like, what if they take you to a real nice restaurant and they tip like 0%?
I was listening to the radio and like a few months ago, and on one of the dates, the guy took her to McDonald's to get ice cream because he was so broke, and she was like, "I'm not going on another date with you."
Yeah, I mean, that also brings up a good point. I think when I know some people that were in this situation too, like in between jobs, and if you're not financially ready to date, then don't do it because it looks bad on you. And men, if you're gonna take her to a McDonald's date for dessert, you're not gonna have a second date.
Nope.
It looks so bad. It's like the worst thing to do ever. So
no fast food.
No fast food. Make sure that you're financially stable.
Unless you're a teenager, then you can go to Chick-fil-A all you want and hold hands.
Yeah, I mean that's. I think that's my only thing. I just talk about it, but don't talk about it too early because you're gonna scare somebody away.
Right.
They're going to be out.
Or if you're going to mention it, be prepared that the other person's not going to be ready to talk about it, and then be respectful of that.
Yeah. And there are things you can ask, like those questions that they have in the article. You can also just, you can see what they buy or how they live, what they drive, what they wear. And then you can match that up with where they work and stuff like that. And you can see if they're living above their means or below their means or,
This is why, like, I'm sorry to all your thrifters out there, but this is why I don't believe in thrifting.
Why is that?
One, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Two, it just, like, I'd rather pay the original thing.
Original price, like $300 for...
No, not the original price. Like, I'll go to Ross or TJ Maxx.
That's a good place. Yeah.
I won't go to Goodwill.
Yeah. Okay.
Or thrifting. Yeah, sure, whatever.
There's some expensive thrift stores. Have you been to like Buffalo Exchange?
No.
That's like a thrift designer.
Really?
Nordstrom.
So that's where I need to go then.
It's so expensive still. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just not a thrifter. Like my sister's all into. I'm not.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all.
Cool. That is all we have for today. Sorry for like ranting in this last piece, you guys.
We did rant.
We hope that you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions, comments, or show topics that you'd like for us to discuss, please leave us a note at hello@datepodcast.com or on @datepodcast on Instagram and Twitter.